Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Last time, less was more. This time, there's more to explore. Aliens. This is the 1986 sequel to the 1979 classic Alien. This time, James Cameron stepped up to the directing duties shortly after he proved himself with Terminator. The plot: she awakens, as do they. Ripley, in hypersleep for 57 years, is rescued and brought back to lucidity. Her story is terrifying, if not a bit of a hard pill to swallow. The threat of aliens becomes all the more terrifying when the company, Weyland-Yutani, loses contact with LV-426's terraforming base. Now, Ripley and a team of grunts head down to LV-426 just to see what the hell happened. Where is everybody? Why is nobody communicating? Boy, isn't everyone but Ripley gonna be in for a surprise. Well, I mean, maybe she will be too. The first film did wonders with this setup. The second film builds upon that expertly. Tons of payoff for sure. While, to get the cat out of the bag, yes, I am more of an Alien fan than an Aliens fan. I cannot deny I love this movie. While editing my book review and this review, I stopped several times just to watch it. I was using clips and I was like, you know what? I'm getting really interested. Let's continue watching this instead of editing.
Look into my eye.
I'm not impressed. Well, before I delve into the movie further, I do have to compare it to its novelization counterpart briefly. The movie is better. The novelization is not bad, mind you. I feel that Aliens works better as a visual story rather than one you would read in a book. That really boils down to its characters, dialogue, and set pieces. Sure, most of the dialogue from the movie is in the book, but it still lacks that punch that the film had, not only with the characters, but the set decoration, and some of the kills. Also, the mannerisms and gestures between the characters are more organic here than in Alan Dean Foster's novelization. Not to knock it, I love that novelization, but I'd rather watch the film, even on this controversial 4K.
Excuse me, sir. What?
Speaking of which, let's focus on the movie again, starting with the characters. Ripley is back, believe it or not. The studio was not on board for bringing her back because of her price tag. The director nudged them in the right direction, and I am so damn glad he did. The movie would not have worked if she did not come back. Or, God forbid, they got someone else to play her.
You can just kiss all that goodbye!
It may have worked without her, but that strong connective tissue to the first film would have been lost entirely. Rebecca Newt, played by Carrie Henn, is the survivor type. She is the little girl caught up in all this horror. There is a presence about her that really makes you care about her safety. She actually never acted in anything live action before or after this film. I think she did a decent job. I mean, with all the sticky effects and monsters, not to mention the grueling time schedule she had to deal with, it all kind of came together and made her performance seem a little tired, which fits the character. She's been trapped up there alone, surviving for a long time. Today, Carrie Henn is actually a school teacher and friends with Sigourney Weaver still. Hicks, played by Michael Biehn from The Terminator, is actually easy to like. It pretty much stems from the fact that he believes Ripley from the get-go. You can see it in his face. He is also quiet and doesn't poke fun at Ripley's story. They have good chemistry together.
You started this. Show me everything. I can handle myself.
Yeah, I noticed.
Bishop, played by Lance Henriksen, is an android, which Ripley is very skeptical of, naturally. He has this quirky yet suitable nature about him. You don't know if he is good or bad throughout a majority of the film. It's a nice, surprising reveal. Burke, played by Paul Reiser, is someone you kinda want to like at first. He's someone you can think about trusting with that smile and that pat on the back. Then, when everything goes down, his true colors come out, and boy, they ain't pretty.
You're not gonna sleaze your way out of this one.
Hudson, played by Bill Paxton, rest in peace, is the quirky comedic relief. He's someone you could easily get annoyed with, but his lines are quotable, man. They've always been quotable. However, his character is going insane within reason. He doesn't cause harm or conflict, he's just scared as hell. I get it. Aliens, man.
Christ, Jim, look out!
Okay, I'll talk about one more character, because if I continue to like this, we'd be here all damn day. Vasquez, played by Jeanette Goldstein, is one of my favorite characters in the film. Jeez, Parker in the first film was one of my favorites. Now Vasquez must be the bandanas. Anyway, she's an actual badass chick. She's tough, knows how to kick ass, and to survive despite her size. She ain't that tall. Not to say that she's not a buff, she just is kind of short. Either that or she's short when compared to her friend Drake, who... that was the last character I was going to talk about. Moving on. But Drake is awesome. Damn it!
Ain't just too bad.
And what about Gorman? I'll shout out two more. Gorman and Apone. Gorman is a more central character than Apone, despite Apone being a commanding officer for the Colonial Marines. I still enjoyed both their screen times regardless. With an $18.5 million budget, this film is impressive to look at. The effects are top-notch, although some are a bit dated, with like the ships flying and landing and crashing. It still adds charm. Aliens won a ton of awards. Everything from visual effects and set decoration to the leading actress Sigourney Weaver, and the sound design. Those smart guns sound awesome.
Let's rock!
As a little kid, I always ran around playing aliens as if I was shooting them up using a smart gun. That sound always stuck with me. The pacing of Aliens is a bit slow at first. There's a lot of mystery and build-up, but then when action happens, you're enthralled. And like I said when I was watching the movie instead of editing the reviews, the action sequences don't last more than 10 minutes at a time, but they feel like they're just on for half an hour because you're so enthralled. It gets scary, it gets intense, especially when the lifeline readers of the Colonial Marines start to go flat. Damn xenomorphs, man! Game over, man! Game over! We're gonna die! However, after the initial attack, there is a long stretch of them trying to survive and figure out how to get off the damn planet. There are some intense scenes sprinkled throughout, but it's a pretty big build-up to an awesome climax. For the gore, the effects, there's very little in terms of bloodshed still, like in the novelization. A chest-bursting scene, melted skin, and some more. Nothing too graphic. Not as bloody as the first. With the gore being minimalistic, the effects are big. I mean very big. Everything from the harsh planet's landscape to the structures' overall design. The film, say it with me now, is amazing to look at. Take it all in, man. Take it. Just take it. Now give me it back. It's my movie. To touch on the sound of design once again, not only do the smart guns sound cool, but the aliens' screeches, the xenomorphs, that's nightmare fuel. Even when they sound hurt, they're scary. Stan Winston's effects are top of the line and are as game-changing as they always were. The Xenomorph Queen is a sight to behold, and I wish part of it wasn't spoiled in the trailer. Yes, even back then, trailers spoiled a lot. In the 70s, they practically spoiled the whole frickin' movie. For the motion picture soundtrack, the late, great James Horner, who also did Humanoids from the Deep, Wolfen, and many, many more. He composed amazing music for this film with the help of the London Symphony Orchestra. One of the tracks, Ripley's Rescue, reminds me of a track in Wolfen. Iconic in some regards, the music in this film has been used in trailers for decades, especially the track Bishop's Countdown. My favorite track has to be Bishop to Queen, which is super intense and goes with the adrenaline-fused scenes perfectly. There are a few tracks that are quite quiet, and they're noticeable. When you're listening to the soundtrack as a whole, though, it doesn't really bother you. Still, it's an excellent score, and I feel it fits every scene that it's in perfectly. Overall, I know why everyone loves Aliens more than Alien, even. Alien was a straight-up horror thriller. This adds action. Think of it as Alien with gunplay. I will admit, it's the better movie, but I don't enjoy it as much as the first. Blasphemy. The first one's slower, I guess. It doesn't mean it's a better or worse film. If I were to compare them, they're on a par, all day, every day. It's a concept I find quite bizarre because this is quite alien to the franchise. All day, every day. Overall, I give Aliens a 4 out of 5.
Stop your grinning.
Before we end this, I just have to say the director's cut is the way to go. It's a bit longer, but it's worth it in the end. Trust me. You're trying to trust a guy who just gave Aliens a 4 out of 5, but I digress. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. You've been watching Shark House Entertainment, and I have been your host, Brian Gatto. Which do you prefer, Alien or Aliens? I know I'm in the minority on this one. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Both the links are in the description below. Also hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video. And as always, subscribe. What the fuck was that? Aliens in my room, man!
Game over, man.